How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's Loronline here again today with yet another Star Wars The Old Republic video. In today's video, I will be covering 50 random facts concerning the MMO that you probably didn't know about. My aim with this video is to cover some of the more niche topics that daily players may not have necessarily come across. This ranges from development information to tucked away mechanics that most players would just simply glance over. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy my 50 facts about SWTOR. Our first fact today is that Izax from the Gods of the Machine operation is modelled off of a Geth ship. Izax the Destroyer's core design follows the Geth ships as seen in the Mass Effect franchise. It is also believed that early meshes and models of Geth ships were used as the foundations for Izax's in-game model. This signature design, as used throughout the ME titles, has always provided me with a nostalgic connotation to the BioWare IP, and I feel personally that this reflection of ME assets provides a brilliantly inspired idea for SWTOR. Fact number 2, Zackery Schlanger, best known for his work at Arcane Studios, worked on the planet Ossus. BioWare hires third-party developers all the time to work on Star Wars The Old Republic. These are people outside of the BioWare head office in Austin, Texas. For example, Zackery Schlanger from ZeniMax's Arcane Studios helped with the development and world building of Ossus, specifically focusing on set dressing, lighting, terrain sculpting, terrain painting, and even small VFX placements. I will link his art station in the description for those of you who are interested. Star Wars The Old Republic is featured in the Guinness Book of World Records. SWTOR is officially recognised as the largest entertainment voiceover project ever, with more than 200,000 lines of recorded dialogue, which was recorded by hundreds of voice actors, making it a more ambitious recording project than any video game or even feature film. At fact number 4, you can use the legacy perk Advanced Mounting to avoid certain world barriers. Any world border that applies a kill or ticking debuff can be simply cheesed by mounting up at the right time using the Advanced Mounting perk. If the player can manage to overlap the debuff application with the mount channel, the debuff will simply cancel, allowing the player to move freely around the zone. Fact number 5, you can change your max camera distance infinitely. By adding the command control_camera max distance equals amount to your account file in app data, you can enable yourself to zoom out infinitely. This can be very useful in flashpoints and operations, enabling players to observe more content at any given time. You can prevent a disconnect by pressing Alt F4 in-game. In Star Wars The Old Republic, disconnecting at the end of an operation can be very destructive, as the player can be kicked from an active phase. You can prevent the loss of loot by simply crashing your game, which will leave your character online until the AFK timer kicks in. This gives players time to reconnect without the player being kicked from the group or the phase. At number 7, you can unofficially reset achievements. If a player wants to reset an achievement in the game, they can simply contact customer support via the in-game ticketing system and request that specific achievements be reset. This can be very useful for Nightmare players who wish to have off-tier achievements reset so they can re-earn said achievement on tier. At fact number 8, you can earn an unofficial free character rename. After deleting a toon accidentally on the character select screen, you can make a request via the in-game customer support system asking for the toon back. Upon the toon's return, the developers will give the toon back with a free rename option. This again is not guaranteed or official, but can be useful in some situations. Following on with fact number 9, there's an in-game title codex for every single title in the game. If you're unsure of how you've earned a specific title in-game, you can simply look up the title in the in-game codex to find a brief description of how you achieve said title. For fact number 10, 5 official LEGO packs were released alongside Star Wars The Old Republic's launch. Firstly, BioWare in partnership with LEGO released 5 unique LEGO box sets to celebrate SWTOR's release. These box sets included everything from a Fury-class interceptor to Jedi Defender starships, accompanied by Republic and Imperial troops. You could even buy Darth Revan as a standalone figure, and if you're interested in getting some of these LEGO sets for yourself, I have linked the site where you can buy them down below. Next up, you can avoid armor repairs by dying to full damage. In the open world, a player can simply jump off a ledge or cliff to avoid paying armor repairs. This can also apply to some operation bosses that offer a ledge to jump off of. For example, in Gods from the Machine, players can jump off the edge of the arena before wiping to prevent the boss from doing damage to armor, and thus preventing the need to repair. Fact number 12, you can avoid starship travel costs by using the heroic transport. On your Activities tab, you can fast travel to respective heroic terminals across a vast majority of planets. This enables players to quickly jump around from planet to planet without paying an initial travel cost. Fact number 13, what are the peculiar sounds and visual effects in your strongholds? Now, SWTOR, like many other MMOs, uses phases for various reasons. Strongholds like phases serve as a private instance for players, whereas players have free control to do as they wish. To save memory, the developers use the same base stronghold for everyone's instance, meaning players are technically standing on the same coordinates as far as the server is concerned, but as stated have their own private instance within the base stronghold. When loading up an instance, there is a brief time window whereas players are in a base stronghold itself before being transferred to their own. Due to this window, some sounds and visual effects can sometimes break through the phase barrier when a player is porting. The outcome is often a sound or animation appearing before the players enter their individual phase. As a result, the player is simply observing an echo of someone else's phase from that transition period. This can also cause ghost mounts and ghost NPCs to appear in your stronghold. At fact number 14, you can have multiple text tabs up at one time. In order to have multiple text tabs, simply create a new tab, then drag the tab out of the chat window box. This will enable you to move the text tab around your screen and position it where you want. You can do this as many times as you like. It's generally very useful when you're having multiple conversations with different guilds and different chats. For 15, you can reflect exhaustion zones. If you're playing a Juggernaut, Guardian, Commando or Mercenary, you can reflect the ticking debuff applied by world borders. There's not much point of doing this, but if you really want to, you can. Next up, Valkorion and General Daeron have the same voice actor. Darren DePaul is both the voice actor for Valkorion, the Immortal Emperor, and General Daeron of the Republic military. Outside of the game, Charles Boyne and Darren DePaul have a good working relationship that has resulted in the actor's return for 6.0. Following on with fact number 17, the 6.0 key art was produced by Brian Hagan. The key art itself for 6.0 was revealed at San Diego Comic-Con by Eric Musco and Charles Boyd. The art itself was originally sketched by Anna Lee before being finalized by Brian Hagan. Both artists have produced numerous concepts for most of 5.0 and the upcoming 6.0 expansion. We have a fun fact for number 18, and that is that Musco is often tagged in Musco lighting promotional content by accident. On Twitter this past week, the @official GHSA, the Georgia High School Association, have been tagging Musco in tweets concerning business promotional packages for Musco lighting. Musco, being the good sport he is, informed them of the incorrect tagging, but the GHSA have not stopped. He is still being tagged in Musco lighting content to this day. For fact 19, we are going to be covering the one-shot abilities for admins. Within Star Wars: The Old Republic, there is in fact an inaccessible admin ability that one-shots every and any target with a single button. This ability has been data mined in the past, but had never been officially presented until the 5.0 Knights of the Fallen Empire livestream in 2015, where developers used the one-shot ability to clear trash. And that brings us to fact number 20, this being that the Big Bang Theory TV series dedicated an entire episode to the Star Wars: The Old Republic MMO. During episode 19 of The Big Bang Theory Season 5, Sheldon, Leonard, Raj and Howard engaged in a gaming marathon over a weekend, specifically playing the SWTOR MMO. Very little in-game footage is used throughout the episode, but it's a nice nod to the game, and I'm sure it served as an excellent marketing tool. For fact 21, Star Wars: The Old Republic cinematics are made by Blur Studios. Blur Studios are also responsible for many various video game and film scenes. To list some examples, the Halo Wars cutscenes by 343 Industries, and the THQ's The Force Unleashed cinematics. For our next fact, Charles Boyd, the writer for Star Wars: The Old Republic, is actually a cosplayer. Charles Boyd, the lead writer of the Troopers storyline and the Osa storyline, is notorious for his Mandalorian and Jedi cosplays. He is an official member of the 501st Legion, Rebel Legion and Mandalorian Mercs. Following on with fact 23, there is in fact an exact copy of Section X without any NPCs. Using a mixture of dueling exploits, players can escape the Section X zone on Belsavis. If you manage to escape said zone, you will find that there is another version of Section X tilted at an angle outside of the world borders. Fact 24. Adam Burdell and Brian Posch designed the new Holotrooper armor set. The stunning Holotrooper armor set was created by BioWare employees Burdell and Posch. The armor set was also conceptualized by Brian Hagan. Burdell, Posch and Hagan are all currently hard at work on expansion 6.0, meaning this armor set is in some ways an introduction to what we can expect next expansion, and with these breathtaking hologram VFX, I really can't wait to see how armor and cosmetic items are going to look in 6.0. I am also using this armor set throughout my legendary playthrough of Star Wars: The Old Republic if you're interested. At the halfway point with Fact 25, Star Wars The Old Republic had an in-game economic crash. In June of 2015, BioWare released a patch that enabled the Temple Chair from STRAN exports to be purchased for 1 credit. There was however an oversight, where players could then sell the chair back for 100 credits and essentially make infinite credits. Some players at the time bought and then sold the chair in bulk and managed to accumulate credit caps on multiple toons. Once their players obtained enough money, they then bought thousands of items off the GTN and distributed the money around the server, which caused a ton of damage at the time. Fact 26. In 2015, Nightmare content within Star Wars The Old Republic was considered easy. During 3.0, players could re-enter Nightmare content before the bolster and clear said content off tier. Using DF as an example, players could fight Nightmare Brontes with 80 plus the recommended item rating. Players would therefore be able to clear this content with ease and obtain an array of achievements with little hassle. Fact 27. Timothy Zahn helped write the storyline for the Traitor Among the Chiss Flashpoint. Timothy Zahn is best known for his work on the Thrawn series and the Star Wars novel Outbound Flight. Zahn, according to Charles Boyd, was a key consultant for Capero, and helped Charles Boyd best understand Chiss culture, according to one of Boyd's tweets. For Fact 28, I'm going to cover the Vet-slave controversy. On release, the Daily Mail and Forbes picked up on the Sith warrior companion Vet. Forbes' Eric Kane mentioned that the game appealed primarily to teenage boys, and that having a shock collar wearing slave alien is really creepy. There was also some debate on whether or not this was considered sexist, but ultimately this just generated bad press at the time of the game's release. Fact 29. The cutscene length for all class stories is 104 hours. If you played through all the class stories plus side quests without skipping a cutscene, it would take 104 hours, and that's not taking into account actual gameplay. Moving on to fact number 30. In Eternity Vault, you can target the arena. During the operation, Eternity Vault players with show nameplates for friendly NPCs can see an NPC named Area. This NPC serves as the mechanic placeholder for the last boss of the operation and can be interacted with. Fact 31. In 2016, you could get to Droman Khas as a Republic player. There was a stronghold bug in 2016, whereas players could leave their stronghold using the elevator clickable object and travel down to the planet's surface. This bug could be further exploited through the use of summons to take full groups of players to rival faction planets. This bug could be pulled off on both the Republic side and the Imperial side, meaning imp players could also go to Coruscant. Fact 32. There were in fact rare Flashpoint named weapons. Back at launch, there were an assortment of various weapons you could obtain that had actual names, most of which came from Flashpoints as rare drops. These weapons were removed with 2.0 and now sell from anywhere between 60mm to 600mm. I have listed a few of the named weapons below if you're interested. For fact 33, the original Star Wars The Old Republic score was written by Mark Grisky and Gordy Hab. The actual score itself was produced by Grisky, who is best known for his work on Force Unleashed and the original KOTOR titles. Fact 34. There was in fact a stat split pre-mastery. Upon launch, players would obtain different stats for each class. Troopers would use aim, smugglers cunning, guardian strength, and consulars would use willpower. But as of patch 4.0 and the Night of the Fallen Empire expansion, these 4 stats were condensed down into one stat called mastery. As for fact 35, there were in fact Area 4 zones. Up until 3.0 there were zones on the map called Area 4 zones, which were essentially leveling zones that required 4 players to progress. The most notable of which was the Hydra camp on Droman Khas located outside of Khas City. Since the Night of the Fallen Empire expansion, these zones have since been removed. Moving on to fact 36, Galactic Starfighter has a tutorial level. On the Galactic Starfighter tab, there's an option to run a mock PvE variant of the Galactic Starfighter game mode, where you can fly around as your ship and practice on NPC target dummies, which also infers that an official PvE Galactic Starfighter variant is a possibility. Which brings us to fact 37. Past and present patch files are viewable via archiving system software. You can view past patch files through your Star Wars The Old Republic client-side directory, or if you'd rather simply look up specific files, Jedipedia has an online sorted database that lists all current and past patch data. Moving on, there's a directory of all public Star Wars The Old Republic strongholds in-game. When going to buy a stronghold, you can select the Stronghold Listing tab and from there travel to anyone's house that's set to public. This also applies to guild flagships and guild bases. Additionally, these listings have sort functions, so you can find the busiest stronghold and show up uninvited. With fact 39, you can use any random mount or pet. There's an activatable ability that allows players to summon a random pet or mount from their Toon's unlocked pool. This can be great for indecisive players. Unfortunately, a rather sad fact for Fact 40, Ben Ivering is retiring from BioWare. For those of you who don't remember or were not around, Ivering was the producer for Star Wars: The Old Republic back during Knights of the Fallen Empire before Keith Koenig took over. Ivering moved to producing Anthem and is best known for blogging Boyd's tweets every now and again. Unfortunately, as of August 15th, he has resigned from BioWare and will definitely be missed. Moving on to a more positive note, for Fact 41, BioWare takes serious action on win trading. As of Season 10, the developers have had a zero-tolerance policy against win trading, the punishment of which varies depending on how much said player has exploited, but the outcome of win trading has often resulted in a ban, which is very beneficial to the PvP community. Fact 42, cartel market weapons drop from Nightmare Gods. When you down a boss on Nightmare Gods from the machine, there's a chance a platinum weapon will drop from some of the bosses. For example, Nahot's platinum sniper can drop from Nahat, and Skyver's platinum blaster rifle can drop from Skyver. On Odessen, there are two mysterious observers watching your every move. In the background of Odessen, you can use your macro binoculars to observe two NPCs who appear to be spying on the Outlander. Not much is yet known about them, but I'm sure more will be revealed in 6.0. A controversial fact for Fact 44, Star Wars: The Old Republic has a strict no add-on policy. Unlike other MMOs such as WoW, the former WildStar and Elder Scrolls Online, Star Wars: The Old Republic does not allow third-party support within the game. This prevents players from installing cheats that effectively make the game a lot easier. For example, DBM in World of Warcraft is an add-on that informs players of specific mechanics at certain times. This helps players avoid AoEs, knockback stuns, and even helps players with interrupts and rotations. Due to the add-on policy for Star Wars: The Old Republic, game mechanics are generally much more difficult, as players cannot rely on third-party support. I personally love this about Star Wars: The Old Republic, but it's again a very controversial topic, but still an interesting fact nonetheless. Fact 45. Star Wars: The Old Republic and the Elder Scrolls Online MMO by ZeniMax run on the same engine. The Hero engine was used for both Star Wars: The Old Republic and the Elder Scrolls Online throughout their respective developments. The Elder Scrolls Online variant of the engine, however, is heavily modified, whilst the SWTOR variant has stayed more or less the same throughout the MMO's lifespan. Fact 46. Baron Deathmark was voiced by Stephen J. Blum. Baron Deathmark, for those of you who don't know, is the commentator featured in most Star Wars: The Old Republic player vs player arenas. The actor who plays him, Stephen Blum, is best known for playing Zeb in Star Wars Rebels, but has also voiced numerous game characters in various video games, including Call of Duty, Transformers, and even other Star Wars games. Moving on to Fact 47. BioWare Austin's Damian Schubert is a public speaker for MMO Theory. Damian Schubert is the lead system designer for Star Wars: The Old Republic and has been working within the MMO industry for 20 years now. Due to his advanced experience working with MMOs, he often gives presentations on how society functions within the MMO sphere. Next up at Fact 48, we're going to be discussing how you obtain the DreadSeed and Star Forager armor sets. After completing the DreadSeed Legacy quest line, you can unlock a Seeker droid which can be used to dig up armor pieces from around the galaxy at various dig sites. These dig sites can be found using macro binoculars from the Shroud questline. Just a small one for Fact 49, you can set yourself to Do Not Disturb in chat channels. Type the command /D&D to toggle Do Not Disturb. This prevents people from inviting you to guilds or groups, and can be very useful on starting planets to prevent guild invite spam. Which brings us to our final fact of the video, and that is fact number 50. The restored Malgus Reborn armor set is based on the original Malgus concept art. Concept artist Young Kim did some original sketches of Malgus before his big return, one of which included a specific armament, this being a protective helmet alongside the rebreather. Unfortunately, the design never made it to the game until now with the new restored Malgus armor set. This armor set by far pays homage to Malgus's design process in the best way, and that is of course with this beautiful, unique helmet. And there we have it. Thank you all very much for watching. I really hope you learned something new about the game, and if not, thank you anyway for hearing me. I really appreciate it. As a side note, I definitely suggest you check out the description as I've linked a lot of related content to this video. Additionally, if you're not subscribed, feel free to hit that sub button. For one, it really inspires me to make more content, and on top of that, it just helps the channel grow all around. And if YouTube's not your thing, you can also follow me on other social medias such as Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, and even Twitch. I stream over there every few weeks, mostly during raids, but every now and again I'll throw in a PvP stream. I think that wraps everything up. Thank you all very much for watching again, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys.